All right, hello world. This is CS50 Live. My name is Colton Ogden. CS50, if unfamiliar, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, and you're not familiar with CS50, CS50 is Harvard's Intro to Computer Science, taught by David Malin. My name is Colton Ogden. This is an offshoot of that, and this is sort of a live interactive series where we do a whole bunch of different things. We program things from scratch, projects from scratch. I typically do games and web stuff. We also talk about technologies and libraries, all kinds of stuff. But this is a new thread where we're actually trying out an experiment where we have the sort of the Twitch chat coding for me. I'm sort of acting as a proxy. And so what the sort of system is that we have in place now is, and I'm just going to go over and write this in the chat here just so that everyone knows. If anybody's a newcomer to this idea, if you're on Twitch, you can enter smileys, emojis. And there's a bunch of different emojis, if unfamiliar with Twitch, that are very common on Twitch and sort of hallmarks of the platform. One of them is the Mr. Destructoid emoji. And so right there, you can see it. There's 3 of them. That is the marker for you to tell me that you want to write a line of code in the script today or amend somebody else's line of code. Just basically the participation marker. And so right now, you can go ahead and start doing that. But if I see those 3 robots, that tells me, OK, add so-and-so's name to the roster, and we'll get started. Now, I'm going to switch to my computer. And you can see that a couple of folks actually put the emojis in the chat before the stream began while we were doing the music. So Azati and Sohazur are the first people that are going to be participating in today's experiment. Now, last week, what we ended up doing is kind of a couple of different things. We did a chaos sort of run, which almost sounds like a game thing. We did a chaos project where there was no goal. We essentially just said, you know, in order of whoever wants to participate, just say a line or an amendment, and we will run the script when we get to a point at which it is runnable. And we finally got that runnable, and it was crazy. It was memes all over the place. But then we finally got after that to a more goal-oriented project where we actually implemented an ASCII square. And that was cool because we had the sort of with this is the assumption that some people are going to take it seriously and some people are not going to take it seriously. And that's why it's entertaining. And I get to sort of sit back, sort of referee the situation, but like kind of enjoy the process. And it's funny to see people take the sort of the troll sort of submissions, you know, where it's obvious that they're trying to kind of steer the project away from completion for the sake of good intended humor, of course. But then to see like other people who want to see the project completed actually amend lines or add lines in order to make those lines not work in the project. And so you kind of get to experiment with what you're capable of in Python and how you can sort of fix any code base given any sort of unfortunate situation. Now, some people just went ahead and submitted the robots as well, so I'm going to go ahead and write them in. So the Choco Kid, 21. We have, and I apologize if I typo your screen name. Some of these are a little bit tricky. Poros, and Adev0, and Kanaj. Are we going to be able to comment out lines in this stream? That was another thing that came up that was interesting. So I don't think so. So no commenting out lines, because that's a very easy way to sort of get rid of somebody's work. So what I think we're going to do is instead of doing that, there are definitely ways that you can take somebody's line out of the equation using Python constructs, like if statements or loops or function definitions, all kinds of things. And that actually introduces more interesting ways of using what people have built up later in the project. So no commenting out, no deleting lines. You can amend a line. You can make a small change to a line, and that'll sort of be up to my discretion whether that's a valid amendment. Because obviously you could say, I amend this line to be completely deleted, completely gone. That will not be a valid amendment. But if you want to change something small about somebody else's line, you can propose an amendment. So make sure you specify your amendment, specify your line, and no commenting out. And I think that's roughly all the rules that we decided on that we would take this time, just so that we make sure everybody's work gets sort of equally valid, sort of, not credence, but consideration. Cool. Let me just make sure I'm reading the chat. Some folks are potentially saying there's problems with the stream. I know Facebook is having some issues today for some reason. Hopefully, if you're watching on Facebook and it's having issues, go to Twitch, twitch.tv/CS50TV, so that you can participate in the chat and actually be part of the experiment. Because this is a particularly bidirectional day, because a lot of the time we do have a bidirectional, but it's more of a project that I'm building or someone else is building. And we'll take sort of input and we'll answer questions, but it's not nearly as bidirectional as today's streams are, whereby you are literally writing everything that goes on in the script today. And I was also doing some research on Twitch bots, and there might be a way to turn at least the robot side of things into a Twitch bot, if not the entire script writing process. But I have to take a lot closer of a look at that and actually experiment with it and test it, because I have no idea whether that's one, completely safe, and two, as possible and streamlined as I'd like it to be for this channel. How to use procedures and functions. You would just write a function like def sum function, which could take in some argument. And then you would say, you know, some function call, some other function call, right? This would be a function. And this would be the definition. This would be the body of the function. So what is the goal? So that's interesting. It's a good question, True Kinese. The goal today, I think what we would do, some people actually proposed Project Euler last time. And I think Brian actually, in a prior stream, suggested Project Euler was one of the sites that he liked for problem solving. And so I think that might be an interesting way for us to create a goal for today's stream, unless we want to brainstorm something else. We want to decide on a goal collaboratively. But chaos was a little bit, if people want to do a chaos, I'll leave it up to the stream. But it ended up being kind of, like, the goal was more interesting because we actually had something that everyone was fighting for. We had this tension between, you know, people that wanted to prolong the stream, people that wanted to actually solve the problem. So. And then Wolves, I will add you as well. So, but if there is overwhelming consensus that chaos is what we want to do, especially if we have a lot of people that weren't here for the first time we did the stream, then I'm certainly open to that. I ultimately want this to be entertaining for everybody. So Hazor, the goal was to essentially make a box that looked like this, you know, but actually square. But to actually have this be like an input from the user would input like 5, and it would draw a 5 by 5 square. So it was a pretty simple goal. We were going to do Mario eventually, but people proposed that might, you know, be against academic dishonesty guidelines, which is completely valid. So we'll stay away from anything CS50 problem set related and just do custom problems here. Where there are infinite problems we could come up with, so we don't have to stick with purely CS50 problems. So when you do the streams, typically they are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for now, because Mondays and Tuesdays this room is sort of in use for other purposes. But you can expect Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes not Friday. It really depends on what's going on here at the office. You know, we have a lot of other projects that we unfortunately have to spend a lot of time on, and this takes up a good amount of time. So we try to get this in as much as possible, but we don't do it, you know, as much as your average full-time Twitch streamer for sure. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at, first of all, I'm going to save the name so far. I'm going to cut this music actually, and let's go ahead and take a look at Project Euler. So I don't remember the name of the website or the website domain, projecteuler.net. And they have an archive section here. And there's a lot of problems. There's, you know, this is page 50. There's at least 14 pages. There's 655 problems. So we could start with something fairly easy, like the first problem, which is if we list all the natural numbers below 10 that are multiples of 3 or 5, we get 3, 5, 6, and 9. So we need some way to identify whether a number is a multiple of 3 or 5. Not 3 and 5, but 3 or 5. And then add the multiples. So in that case, if you add all those multiples, it becomes 23. The problem here is do the same thing, but for all the multiples of 3 or 5 below the number 1,000. So we could use this problem as the basis for our stream. We could also look at other problems, but there are so many problems on Project Euler that I'm not sure if we want to spend too much time digging into, you know, reading all these problems before we actually get started writing code. So if you want to try the multiples of 3 or 5. Oh, and also another rule, and this is good for what we're hearing from Unknown Boyak now in the chat, you cannot do compound statements in Python. So you could not do something like, which was what they did, which is a for loop, for in 0, 26, which would actually be range, I think range. Oh, can you do for in tuple? Does that work? I'm actually not sure. But basically, this has to be its own line submitted by somebody. You can't do this and then do another if statement and then do another line after that. It needs to be just the first part. Surreal CS says, what happened to the stream? So are people seeing the Twitch stream, right? Technically, but it will just give you 0 and 26. Okay, yeah. I've never seen tuple syntax used in a for loop in Python. I always see range for numeric iteration. But there are so many things that I don't know. OK, so sorry for folks that are watching and people on other platforms that are seeing weird stuff. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, come to Twitch probably, because Twitch is the stablest platform right now, and we'll figure out the other situation later. Oh, did I go dark? Colton went dark. What does that mean? But does it work really? And just make sure I'm reading the chat and make sure I see everything. OK. So why don't we... I want to make it quite light. Yes, good. That's generally how I am. You are disconnecting from real life. So what I think we'll do, we'll probably just do, since it's the very first problem on Project Euler, and this is the first time we've done a Project Euler thing. Let's just do the very first problem and save ourselves the time of actually going through all the problems, finding one, and because we've already spent a few minutes with the technical difficulties that we're having today. So yeah, let's do this. Let's do the I'll copy the Project Euler sort of problem spec here, right, for problem 1, and make it a top level comment here. Cool. So we're going to find the sum of all the multiples of 3 or 5 below 1,000. And as another note, just let me know when you're writing your comment what line you want your line of code to go on, more specifically. That helps me quite a lot. Oh, Ashley's going to leave right before her turn, and she wants to leave an amendment for whatever Meowcat puts in. So if you didn't watch the prior video, Meowcat diverted us, to say the least. But it was entertaining. Dance trainer, I have you. So Asley, if you're sure, but it's your turn, and we're ready to take your input now if you want to get us started. But if you are indeed leaving, we can skip down to Sohazor. And let me actually make sure I didn't miss anybody else writing the 3 robots. I don't think I did. No, I did not. OK, perfect. Cool. So wait just a second. Confirm. Can you move me to the bottom? I'll grab something to eat. Yep. Absolutely. And done. Amendment for the future if Colton's hair equals short. That's not valid Python syntax, Ashley. You can't assign an if statement yet. That's added in Python 3.8 though. That will be added. All right, thanks for popping by, Ashley. Hopefully we'll see you again in the near future. You will live on in our memories. But we'll take the first line of code from Sohazor. So Sohazor, you're leading the way. If we list all the natural numbers below 10 that are multiples of 3 or 5, we get 3, 5, 6, and 9. So basically, we want a way to get all of the natural numbers below 1,000 that are multiples of 3 or 5. So we're going to need a way to get them all and then sum them, and then figure out what the sum is of that information. Embrax, hello. So Sohazor, we are waiting on your line of code. Sohazor, if you're still in the chat. If not, we may have to go down to Columporos And if anybody's watching and is unfamiliar with what goes on, if you want to add code and get your name added to the list, just in chat, in Twitch chat, write 3 Mr. Destructoid emojis in a row. Yes, Mbrax, you may join. I need to make like a title card or something, like a title outline or something that'll say, you know, enter 3 Mr. Destructoid, so that people watching the video, no matter what, will see that and they don't have to rely on a Twitch bot or anything. So, okay, so Def Project, nice. We're off to a fantastic start. So Hazor, and as always, per the last code base that we were in, we're going to put everybody who's participated, their name next to what they actually added to the project, just so we can keep track of who's added what. Kolamporas, you are next. So let's see what you have to add to this amazing project that we have so far. And again, it helps me a little bit if you specify the line, and also if it's in a function or a statement, kind of specify the indentation level. To say indent into, you know, function, write this line. It helps a little bit because in Python, white space is important. If you write something in here versus here, it's completely different. So something to keep in mind if you are going to participate. Andre, hello, good to see you. Lagui fan here, says iRox. I'm not even sure what that is. I apologize. But if you want to participate in today's stream, 3 Mr. Destructoids puts you in the roster. That goes to you as well, Andre, if you want to participate. For I in the range of 1,000. OK, for I in the range of 1,000. That's an excellent line. I feel like that gets us somewhere. So let's go ahead and put column porous there. What's the best way to denote white space in a Twitch comment? You can just say, I mean, yeah, if you put an underscore, I can assume that to be a level of indentation, actually. So that's actually pretty nice, concise sort of, I guess, syntax for that. So yeah, I'll accept that. So Adev 0, it is now your turn. Yogi 2022, if I mod 3 is 0, I mod 5 is 0. So again, if you're writing in the chat and you're not if it's not your turn, I won't accept your answer. But if you want to get added to the queue, then just write 3 Mr. Destructoids in the chat, and I will put you in the queue. Yeah, I'll take \T. I'll take underscore. I'll take the word indent. And people are free to write if they want to write suggestions. They're free to write it, but they just won't be considered if it's not their turn. If they want to, you know, people that are, if it's their turn, they're free to look at other people's suggestions and use that as inspiration for their own. So Kinesis is saying Adev is not present, which is unfortunate. So Kanaj, it is now your turn. We will accept a line of code from Kanaj. And again, 3 Mr. Destructoids if you want to get added to the list of participants. You can see them right here in the Python file. So again, we're trying to build collaboratively the sum of all multiples of 3 and 5 below 1,000. So if you would like to participate, please do put 3 Mr. Destructoids in the chat, and I will see it, and I will write your name. Node is better than Python, says Sehur. Sounds like a very opinionated statement to make. Eric Cartman, hello. Good to see you. Set a timer for everyone. I have sort of a timer in my head, so it's kind of like if 30 seconds to a minute passes, then we'll take folks out. Kanaj is usually pretty present, which is why I'm spending a few seconds waiting. But I think after a few more seconds, we will let. Yeah, see, Kanaj is there. So if I mod 3 is equal to 0, or I mod 5 is equal to 0, and I'm going to go ahead and indent these over just because it's a little bit longer. Great line by Kanaj here. Unknown Boyak, it is now your turn. It's better for the stream if people make mistakes and others have to make amendments. You need to add a break statement, says Ambrax. Well, see, Choco Kid, the goal here is to get people of different experience levels involved. And so if more people participate and make mistakes, then we have amendments to make. So that's why we need everybody to participate here. So Unknown Boyak wants us to print I. OK, we'll do that. And I have not been keeping up with the followers. So thanks so much to Unknown Boyak, Wolves46, Yogi2022, and Ninja Vidas. Very much appreciated. Break could break everything. Yeah, that would break us out of the for loop at least. OK, so that was Unknown Boyak, and it could be Unknown Boy AK, and I'm just mispronouncing the name, so I apologize if that's happened. Why don't we run our script? Let me clear this out. And I think we're here. Let's go to the Python. What is it? Where am I at? Oh, chat code's Python 2. Chat code's Python 2. And then if we do Python 3 of main, I think it's script1.py, we get nothing yet. OK, so nothing's getting printed to the screen yet, which is OK. Sarul CS wants to get added. I'll add Sarul. And Andre says, oh, see myself. Oh, that was a joke, Andre? I see. Nice. So one-track system. It is now your turn. You need to have some difficult lines of code, too. Hey, it's up to the stream, right? You know, if people want to do whatever they want to do, they should participate and contribute in whatever way they see fit. But one-track system. It is now your turn to take this script to its next destination. So currently, the script prints nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. Abitech 18, you have been added to the roster. And Columporos is back in there for their round 2. Add var total sum equals 0 after line 8. Oh, what's one-track system? Right. OK, so on line 8, eres un Jesucristo del Python. I'm guessing that means you are the Jesus Christ of Python. Says Mayor68. Muchas gracias, pero no estoy. I think that was correct. Yeah. And that was one-track system, which said, what was it? Total. So var. OK, so this is going to be an interesting thing. Var total sum is equal to 0. So, you know, I might just leave errors. I might just do like exactly how people type their lines of code, and we'll just kind of let it exist. And I have a linter installed now, so we can see that things just got really nutty as soon as we did that. But that was one-track system. So one-track system, thank you for your contribution. We have Canage and DMSMTP being added to the Twitch stream. After the docstring, import time sys.os, just preparing for the future. Sorry, you can delete var. One-track system, I'm afraid it's too late. You have already locked in, so somebody is going to have to amend your line of code if we want this to work. This will make things a little bit interesting, right? And this is how we're going to learn. I think this is a good way of learning mistakes, too. V. Cavallo says keep var in there. I like the idea of literal transcribing. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it'll give us a little bit of hilarity to work with for the stream, you know, a little more interest. Puppet 4411 was after the docstring import time sys.os. OK, import time sys.os. That was Puppet 4411. And Wolves 46, it is now your turn. If someone want to call Project, see if it prints anything, says Dance Trainer, hey, it's a good idea. Someone comment out line 8. We are not accepting comments, Mbrax. Oh, Choker Kid, stream was frozen, I'm sorry. All right, Wolves 46 is no longer present. Dance Trainer, it's your turn. Let's see what you got. Loner Kington is back from last week. This PC10, what's up? What's up, this PC10? Again, if anybody's brand new, doesn't know how to participate, 3 Mr. Destructoids in the chat will get you added to the roster for adding some code to this amazing script we have here. So Dance Trainer, it is now your turn. Dance Trainer is thinking. They're saying, Take this moment to hydrate a little bit. I'm a little bit parched. Dry mouth. You can do /me thinking. Oh, nice. OK. It should say is thinking. I'll do what I said. Add project as a function call. OK. So I will assume you mean right here. So this is courtesy of Dance Trainer. We are calling the function now that we defined up here. And now it is onto the Choco Kid 21 for their contribution to the script. So Hazur wants to get added. So Hazur and Dance Trainer wants to get added back to the end. Will do. Cool, cool. Between line 13 and 14, x plus equals I. 13 and 14. X plus equals I. OK. Right here. Choco Kid 21. Everything's nicely lined up here. Nobody's requested an amendment yet, so we haven't had to do overline comments just yet. But I suspect we will get there at some point. So, oh, I, not 1. Oh, sorry. My fault? Even I'm making mistakes, and I'm supposed to be the one transcribing word for word. But we are not printing x, says Unboyak. It's a good observation. Can I get added back to the queue? Absolutely. X not defined, says Unboyak. They might be onto something. Mbrax, it is now your turn. So just waiting on Mbrax. Bella says hi. Hello, Bella. Bella, would you like to get added? I know that we accidentally forgot to include you last time. I'd be happy to add you to the roster right now if you would like to participate. We need to add the multiples, not print them, says the Choco Kid. And this is where we arrive at the fun of the stream, where we have different people trying to do different things that may or may not accomplish the goal at hand. Bella wants to be added. All right, Bella. Again, apologize that we missed you last time, but you are in there. We will get you in here. We will get you participating. Replace var total sum with x equals 0. OK, so we want to amend this line to say x is equal to 0. OK, we can do that. I'll consider that a valid amendment. An amendment from Mbrax, since the line effectively accomplishes the same thing. And this is going to be x equals 0. Now notice that that got rid of all of the errors that we had, because var is not a keyword in Python. That is the way in JavaScript to define variables, but Python does not have the var keyword. So Cerul CS, that is now your turn. Oh, got to take a break? OK, that is totally fine. We can push you off of the roster here. That is not the way in JavaScript. It is the old JavaScript. Now you can say let, you can say const. Those are the modern way to do it. The old way, the ES5 way to program in JavaScript was to say var something. Yes, var is outdated. That is correct. But it is technically JavaScript syntax still. It is still technically part of the language. NQ mbrax, please. Can do. And Yogi2022 says, can I join? Yep, absolutely. There is no underscore in your name. What is the URL for submitting a code for review? The URL for the code review is going to be cs50.li/code review, like that. And True Kines, thank you very much. You almost beat me to it. Not quite. I beat you by just 5 milliseconds. You should have a bot for queuing. I agree. I was going to, I actually looked into that this morning as to how to write it. And so I think for the next stream, I might write a Twitch bot for that. But yes, you were absolutely right. It looks pretty easy, too. It's not too bad. It'd probably only take me like a couple hours. We need only an amendment to complete this project. This PC10 says code review, clap, clap. Yeah, it's fun stuff. Code review is good. And then David is going to be doing the code review on Friday, tomorrow. So tune in for that one. That'll be interesting. Have you had bad, clever actors yet? Not yet. Not yet. Everything seems to have been pretty wholesome so far, honestly. Yeah, Merlin's correct. This is a one-liner. With the list comprehension and the sum function, this is a list comprehension. Bella, this is the goal. So listing all the natural numbers below 10, well, actually, technically not listing them, but getting all the natural numbers below 1,000, and then adding the sum of the ones that are multiples of 3 and 5. Oh, I did not get the Pewds reference. I apologize. I do not watch PewDiePie. I used to watch PewDiePie a little bit, but I do not watch him these days. I probably am missing some kind of a reference. Shame on me. Meme review? Actually, that'd be pretty amazing. That'd be pretty amazing. Meme review with David Malin. I'll think on that a little bit. I'll think on that. That's interesting. So Sarul, did Sarul decide that they didn't want to contribute? Are we going to Obitech? Sarul said bye-bye, right? Yeah, Sarul said got to take a break. Obitech 18, it is your turn. We rest on your shoulders. We have like 12 or so people in the queue. So again, if you're watching this and you're not in the queue to submit a line of code, you can type 3 Mr. Destructoid Robots in the chat. That'll tell me that you want to be added to this roster of people who are going to contribute a line of code to the project. Abitech 18 says print X outside the for loop and inside the project. Ah, okay. So right here. So we're going to do a print X. And that is Obitech 18. Excellent. So why don't we run it just to see what we have? So 233,168. This is the number that's being printed that's X. Is this indeed the sum of all of the numbers below 1,000 that are multiples of 3 and 5? Cyril CS wants to get added. OK, and so does Obitech. So Obitech 18 and Cyril CS. Now, are the solutions on Project Euler as well? Does it actually show you what the like, could we confirm the solution on here anywhere, or do we just kind of have to know what it is? Or do you have to like actually sign in and submit? Still think we need to get rid of all the outputs. You know what would be kind of interesting is if we just oh, Sohazora has a link. OK. Oh yeah, we pretty much did it, right? Yeah, and then actually, what in the Stack Overflow solution, which is the x is sort of equal to the generator expression within the sum, I for I in the range of 1,000. If I mod 3 is a 0, I mod 5 is equal to 0. Yeah, that's the one-liner that Merlin was referring to. And oh, there's an actual project solutions. Oh, those are just the solutions, the answers. OK, cool. Yeah, without this print, it would indeed be cleaner. But we're not necessarily going for perfect code. We're going for getting the answer. And we got the answer right. So well done to all the chat. That was amazing. That was very fast, actually. Nobody screwed that one up too badly, I will say. Nobody tried to steer us off the wrong path. So shout outs to Puppet4411, Sohazor, Mbrax, One Track System, Colin Poras, Kanaj, The Choco Kid 21, Unknown Boyak, Albitech 18, and Dance Trainer for the contributions. So very well done. And Abitech, yeah, I got you in there as well. Very well done, all of you. Let's go to the next problem. Do we want to go to the next problem, or do we want to do something else? Let me just write this as script2.py. How much does PEP 8 style matter in industry? Probably a good amount. I think it's going to vary on your organization. CS50 tries to adhere to it pretty firmly. But I think even we deviate sometimes in subtle ways. But generally, we try to adhere to them almost strictly. Next problem before Meowcat arrives. All right, amazing. So OK, task 2. Let's do task 2. Starting with the roster of people that carried over from script 1. So we're going to go over to Project Euler. Let's look at task 2, and let's understand what it is. So the even Fibonacci numbers. So each new term in the Fibonacci sequence is generated by adding the previous 2 terms. So by starting with 1 and 2, the first 10 terms will be 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. So we get 1 plus 2, and then the next number is going to be the sum of that. The next numbers after that's going to be the sum of these 2, then these 2, then these 2, and then these 2, and you can sort of see that. So we have this list of numbers that grows, and then the next number is the sum of whatever the last 2 numbers were. Starting with 1 and 2, that's sort of the initial way that we seed our data set, right? So we want to consider the terms in the Fibonacci sequence whose values do not exceed 4 million. Find the sum of the even valued terms. So we want to basically calculate Fibonacci up to but less than up to 4 million. So equal to 4 million, up to, less than or equal to 4 million. And then find the sum of all even numbered terms. So this is a juicier problem. This is interesting. It's a bit more complicated than the last one we did, but definitely solvable. I'm going to go ahead and copy the problem spec into the script. Let's go ahead and do that. And just do this and this. So here's the comment right here. The first person to kick us off is Colin Poras. So Colin Poras, let's do Fibonacci first, then the sum later. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to be doing this. We'll see if we can align everybody's goals and thoughts along the same sort of axes. But it's ultimately up to the chat. Ultimately up to the chat. So def. Okay, so Colin Poras says def next fib num colon. All right. So that's Colin Poras. The next person is Kanaj. So Kanaj, let's see what you got. See a little bit of red here. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe we'll figure that out before too long. Unknown boy AK or unknown boyak added you. Sohazor says put brackets. Hey, says Sohazor, it's not your turn. You're gonna have to wait your turn. Kanaj, it is your turn. What would you like to do to this script? And let me go ahead and just shout out the people that are following on Twitch. So, whoops. It's Coder Life, and I'm a Helen. Thank you very much for the follows. Much appreciated. Kanaj says they are here. And again, to anybody who's new to the stream, if you would like to get added to the roster of people to add lines of code, do just throw 3 Mr. Destructoid emojis, the green robot, into the Twitch chat. I will see that, and I will add you to the list. We can define an inefficient fib function in one line. Merlin wants to get fancy. Merlin wants the and we won't accept that though, Merlin, because again, we won't accept compound Python statements. But the actual gist of what you're saying is true. However, that is that'll give us the number, right? That'll end up giving us the Fibonacci. It won't give us a sequence. It'll just give us a number, right? Yeah, that'll just give us a number. So I'm not sure if that'll work in this case. No, you have a colon, Merlin. Your def has a colon. That's a compound, or like it's like an inline statement. Essentially no loops, no one-line loops, conditions, or function declarations. Anything that you would use a colon for is a yeah, the block is on one line, but we can't accept that. We can't accept anything that's multi-line like that. Kanaj said, sorry, what's the function doing? So here, I'm going to go ahead and just leave this up if you want to read it. It's the Fibonacci sequence, right? So every we start with 1 and 2, add those, which creates the next number, which is 3. Add the 2 next numbers, which are 2 and 3. That creates 5. Add that to the list. The next 2 numbers are 3 and 5. Add those. That makes 8. 5 and 8 makes 13. 8 and 13 makes 21, so on and so forth. Let me make sure. One track, Brobatai. Cannot spell. One track system, and one tax system, and colon porous. Also, Merlin, are you even participating? I don't think I've seen you try to get added to this with robots at all, ever. You do seem to know Python pretty well. Yeah, Merlin, it sounds like you're probably seeding the pool of folks in the Twitch chat and inspiring them with your statements, though not directly contributing. You're sort of indirectly contributing. And it looks like Kanaj wrote initialize result to 0. I'm going to need to know where, Kanaj. Where do you want me to put result equal to 0? Do you want me to put it in here? Do you want me to put it outside the function here? Do you want me to put it up here? Where are we putting result? Because again, Python is white space sensitive. So if we put result here, it's different. Okay, Kanash is inside the function. Okay, awesome. So result is equal to 0. That is courtesy of Kanaj. We'll go ahead and we will write credit to Kanaj right there. Someone used matrix multiply. Oh dear. DMSMTP. It is now your turn. What do you have for us today? Matrix exponentiation. Absolutely beautiful idea. No danger in that getting unwieldy whatsoever. OK, DM SMTP, A is equal to 1. And where are we putting that? If you could do me a favor and specify, too, when it's kind of ambiguous, whether you want your statement sort of up above here, maybe, or inside the function, or after the function, outside of it. Just because in Python especially there are, I mean, even in any programming language, placement matters a lot. and I want to make 100% sure that I know where you want your code to go and I don't make too many assumptions. Great. Mu9, I got you down here. Line 12, 11. Oh, between 12 and 11. OK. So we'll say A is equal to 1. And that is DM SMTP. Awesome. Thank you very much. Monge1H or Mongi1H, what you got for me? What is the next contribution to this stream? And also thanks to Raiden Sama 1996, Ryan Wenhao, and Tritet for the follows. In line 14, while x is less than 4 million, OK, that is Monge1H. Thank you very much for the contribution. Loner Kington, it's up to you now. What do we got? DMSMTP. I will add you DMSMTP back to the end. And Puppet4411, you have been added. I am new but trying. No, it's excellent. That was a good line. That we do not have an x variable, but we will do our best with what we have. Did we solve the first problem? We did solve the first problem. We solved it with flying colors. Santa Claus is real. Love the screen name. Hello. Anybody new who's joining the Twitch chat? 3 Mr. Destructoids puts you in the queue to add a line of code to the script if you would like to contribute. So do that if you're curious. If not, feel free to be a relaxed passerby in this journey, this amazing journey. Loner Kington says B is equal to 2. Am I to assume that the line goes here, Loner Kington, or somewhere else? Again, if you're contributing and it is ambiguous, or if you want to just start doing this as a sort of an, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. If you want to do me a favor and be a little more explicit consistently, everybody, by just giving me the line number with your code, that will make things, I think, a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient. On line 13, OK, excellent. So on line 13, B is equal to 2, courtesy of Loner, I cannot type, Loner Kington. Awesome. So Hazor, it is now your turn. What is the next contribution? Yeah, by submitting the code by saying line X, here's the code, makes my line way easier. Mensch in Danem, if you want to contribute, you will need to get added to the queue. So if you want to get added, just put 3 Mr. Destructoid emojis in the chat, and I'll know that you want to get added. Again, anybody who's writing code, if it's not your turn, I will not be writing it. But if you want your code to be considered, if you want to contribute, then just add, put 3 Mr. Destructoids in the chat, and I will call on you when it is your turn in the queue. But Sohazor, it is currently your turn. I see that you added 3 robots in the chat earlier, but not any code yet. So before I add you to the queue, we're going to need some code from you. Loner Kington, you have been added back to the list. Sohazor, if it takes too much more time, we might skip you, unfortunately. RJSNK501. So Hazor, are you going to write code, or do you want us to skip you for now? Can't think of a while thing. That's okay. If you want, we'll pass. We'll add you back to the end of the roster. How's that? Dance Trainer, it is now your turn. Call the function, show the code. Code is right here currently. Can I go for 4? So Hazor, I'm not sure what you mean. You'll have to specify your line of code. You can amend. You can make an amendment to the while. You can specify a new line, but I'm not entirely sure. I am probably going to refrain from giving out too many hints, too much code advice. I will let the people in the chat doing that. If you do have a Python-related question, syntax-wise, and you want to ask, I will answer that. But if you make it outside of the context of the problem, like if you yeah. OK, so Sohazor ended up amending the line. So amendment from Sohazor, and it is close enough to this line, so I'll consider it. So for I in the range of 4 million. Cool, thank you, Sohazor. So Dance Trainer, it is now your turn. Hello, Martin, good to see you. Again, if anybody is new and doesn't know what's going on and wants to participate, just type in 3 Mr. Destructoids in the chat. It looks a little something like this. Whoops, that is not what it looks like. What the heck is going on? But if you want to contribute to the chat, just write that, and that is what the marker is to participate. TrueKinese has requested to be added, so TrueKinese is going to be added to the chat. What if somebody writes something that deletes something from your PC? Thankfully, I am pretty wise as to probably what will delete things from my PC, so I will not accept anything that is malicious. And the part of the fact of avoiding compound lines of code is to get around that. But Dance Trainer, it is your turn. Are you present? I do see a comment recently from. I do see the comment from Dance Trainer. Does the code have to be relevant to the problem? Doesn't have to be. It could be anything as long as it's not going to try and wipe my computer. Line 17, if I is equal to a plus b. If I is equal to a plus b, and that is from Dance Trainer. OK, awesome. Thank you so much. Choco Kid 21, it is now your turn. Let's see what you got. RJSNK 501, I got you. Come on, Choco Boy, says TrueKinese. Just waiting on Choco Kid. I want to make an append I. OK, what is the append? You would, if there's a list, you can say, like if I had a list called k, that was a list like this, I could say k.append some value like that. And that would add some value to the list inside of it like that, essentially. Excuse me. So hopefully that was helpful, Choco Kid. Choco Kid just says, all right, just skip me. Excuse me. Bella Cures, it is your turn. And a pink 6 at the end here. I'm out. See y'all next time. All right, One Track. Thanks for joining today. Someone amend what b is less than or equal to 4 million. You can do just comments, right? Yeah, you could do just a comment if you wanted to. As long as it's not commenting out somebody's line of code, that is fine. Although why you would want to spend your code on a comment might be, I'm curious, but we'll see. We'll see what you have in mind. Oh, I see. Choco Kid was here. All right, Choco Kid, we can do that for you. But where do you want the comment, Choco Kid? You're gonna have to tell me where you want it. Bella says line 18 outside the if statement. So right here, or I guess it would be right here. If number mod 2 is equal to 0. So if I'm reading this correctly, so you want it like right here. So if number mod 2 is equal to 0, like that. Is that correct, Bella? Let me know that that is what you're going for. No troll lines, lame, says Eric. Line 15, right in the middle of the function. All right. We'll do Choco Kid was here. Beautiful. Thanks, Choco Kid, for your contribution. You will forever be known. Graph Snickers 22, Print Chocobo was here. Bella, if you could confirm that I put the if I put that line right where you wanted it and it looks like how you wanted it to look. Cool, awesome. And Yogi22, 2022, we do not do compound statements. So you cannot do an if and a something. It has to just be an if or the body itself, the statement itself. Biggest contribution in the whole history of the CS50 TV channel? Yeah. Does a string with multiple new lines count as multi-line? No. If you want to print something multiple lines, that's totally fine. Your Python statement just can't be multiple lines. Mr. Sutherland says one can do a list comprehension. Can one do a list comprehension? You can do anything that Python allows you to do as long as it's not more than one line worth of code. And that includes anything that you would use a colon for, like an if, a def, for, etc. Yogi 2022, after line 17, what exactly do you want after line 17? Because the line that you proposed is actually 2 lines. So you can only do one or the other, or something else. Like we don't allow an if with a colon and something else. You can as a single person in the chat offer up the condition, the if something, or the result, like what True Kinesis is saying. What if it's code as a comment and someone removes the comment symbols? That's fascinating. Since we can't comment out code, then probably we won't allow that, just because then there's no way to fix it after it's happened. So probably not going to do that. Let's start returning lambdas. Yeah, there we go. But it's an interesting idea, because that adds some interesting new things. If we were programming in Lisp, I feel like we would have. I feel like that would be actually a completely valid way to do stuff. Sorry for that comment. Trying to write code. Oh, that's okay. Yogi 2022. So what is your final contribution? Lambdas are too high IQ for Twitch? Nah. It could be fixed by an if false. Well, no, because the interpreter is still going to read it and see a syntax error. Dance Trainer wants to get added to the end. Absolutely. Cool. So if I mod 2 is equal to 0, and you said that was after 17 right here. So if we have 3 if statements here. If I mod 2 is equal to 0. which is essentially the exact same thing that Bella did right here, with a different name. All right, so that was a contribution by Yogi 2022. So Mbrax, it is now your turn. You've had a lot of interesting ideas throughout the stream, so I'm curious to see what you contribute. Twitch is too chaotic for lambdas because they are higher order. Yeah, that's actually good. Very, very funny, very clever. God, this is such a bad algorithm. We're looping along all I. Yeah, it's a way to do it. After line 17, please insert result. Oh boy, here we go. Result AB is going to be equal to result plus not B binary and 1 times B, B, and A plus B. Whoops, let me comment all this over here. So that was Mbrax. So the binary AND, or the logical AND of 1 is interesting. So times B, interesting. I often have to like write out like binary operations on paper in order to actually see what's going on. A lot of the time, binary ANDing of 1 will only, so if that's like, if it was like 2 and 1, it would still be 2. But if it was like 3 and binary AND of 1, it would be 2. Or is that right? Am I? I think I might have that backwards. I think it might be the opposite of that. I think it might be you need 1 in order for it to actually work. Mbrax did submit. So this is Mbrax's code right here. So it's actually Obitech who's up next. How about you just run it and see what happens? Well, I can tell you right now, based on what the linter looks like, it's going to crash. So if we write Python script 2, script 2.py, it's just going to give us a syntax error, invalid syntax. And we can actually see that here, and I actually have a linter installed, so you can sort of hover over any of the red underlined areas and see that that's what syntax error that is. DexBiobot says, oh wow, live. DMSMTP, waiting for my chance. Oh, you've been added, re-added, yep. Obitech 18, can you just fix the function because I cannot see the red lines? Just make it next fib n, where n is the input whose Fibonacci number is found. Sure, next fib n. So that fixed the sort of first set of syntax issues. And I'll go ahead and add this as an amendment to courtesy of Obitech. And Cerule CS, it is now your turn again. Can someone explain the not B and 1B to me? I don't see it being helpful. Line 22 is number n. That's the whole point, though. People are going to contribute their lines of code, and it's up to sort of the chat to figure out what's going on and to correct people if need be. So Obitech 18. And Bella Cures. Sarul says return result. OK, I can assume that we want that to be like here, Sarul. Nice to see everyone on stream today, says David J. Malin. So shout outs to David, who's in the chat making an appearance. Maybe if we're lucky, David will pitch a line to the chat here, or to the script here, if we're really lucky. On the same indent as the 4. Ah, OK. So here, like that? Oh, on the same indent level as the 4, so like this. Do you want it here, or do you want it inside the for loop, or at the same indentation level as the for loop, Sarul? Install a plugin for arepl that scale code in real time. I'm not sure what that is, GraphSnickers22. Oh, I see, an eval. Well, it could be good. This won't. I mean, it wouldn't even work right now because it's broken. So for the sake of, that would only work theoretically if our code was actually fixed, which is not. Vinny C has got good words for David about taking CS50 through the Harvard Extension School. OK. Same indentation level as the for loop. OK, cool. We got a lot of chat in there. We got a lot of people in the chat. So if anybody's new, if anybody doesn't know, if you want to contribute lines of code to the chat, you need to put in 3 Mr. Destructoid robots, and that will signify to me that you want to participate. So Sarul participated. I'm going to go ahead and add their name here. And Unknown Boy AK, or Unknown Boyak, it is now your turn. Let's see what you have next. Remove if statements and add. So Unknown Boyak, we are not going to add that much code. We can only take 1 line. That is a lot of code, and we also are not allowing removal of people's programming. So you can propose an amendment on someone else's line, or you can propose a new line somewhere, but you cannot delete lines and you cannot propose multiple lines. That would be unfair. Sorry about that. Unknown Boyak, still waiting on you for your single line of code. We don't have any arrays right now, in case anyone is wondering. And that's a good observation. That's true. We don't. Right now, we essentially just have a generator expression and a lot of if statements. And a lot of red squiggly lines, which should maybe signify that some amendments are in the books, in the cards, in the works. But Unknown Boyak, we will wait just a few more seconds if you want to contribute your line, and then we will move on to Brubatai. Is this a bit too wrong to fix with just 1-line amendments? Anything is possible with just the 1-line amendments, and Python using Python syntax. Can you NQ mbrax, please? Oh, did I not NQ you? Oh, my apologies. Mbrax, you are added back to the list. Did I miss anybody else by chance? I did miss mbrax. That is my bad. I apologize. Unknown, I'm not going to test your code. I'm going to add your line one at a time. If you want to make an amendment, you can propose an amendment. If you want to add, you can test your code as by getting a Python interpreter on your machine and testing it, which is very easy to do. ChokerKid21 wants to be added, absolutely. Can you modify my code from not bn1 to not bn1? I cannot do that, mbrax. Unfortunately, your turn has passed. You can certainly, when it's your turn again, propose an amendment, or somebody else can propose an amendment. Sandbox on CS50.io handles Python. Yep, should handle Python. It's not shareable, so it's only instance for you. And it looks like Mu9 also gave a online interpreter, which is nice. And we are using 3.6. Actually, I might be using 3.7. Let's see. 3.7.3. So pretty close to cutting edge, the bleeding edge, but not quite 3.8. I don't know if they have a 3.8 alpha out just yet. That inline assignment thing is pretty cool. I wouldn't use it a ton, but it's a nice feature. The 3.7, the data classes stuff, I didn't really look too much at. Oh, and it's also, yeah, here on the bottom left, Python 3.7.3. Because I have a linter enabled, actually. It's using my 3.7.3 Python. Sandbox is shareable, but it's not real-time shareable. Like, you can share it, and then as soon as you make changes, the other person's not going to see them. The Sandbox, or the IDE was the way which you could actually share your workspace in real time with somebody. So that's what I meant. It's shareable in the sense that you can instance a sandbox, but not real-time collaborate in a sandbox. I do not have an idea for the code in one line. That's OK. That's the point. If you want, Anamboyak, we can put you at the end. We can skip you and come back to you, and we can go to Brobatai. It's been a few minutes. But yeah, like Trukani said, you can also just take part of what you proposed and execute that one part. Not B flips all the B. Yeah. Yeah, to understand the logical AND that mbrax used, you'd have to write it out on paper and sort of compare, like ANDing B with 1, which would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and then doing an AND operation on that, well, on another number, so let's say 2. 2 and 1 would be 3, because sorry, that would be, no, that would be OR. 2 and 1 would actually be 0. Because AND is basically making sure that both of them are 1. So if both are 1, if you're looking at the binary on top of it, if you're looking at the string 1 and then 2, then that would be essentially 1, 0 and 0, 1. And since they don't have overlapping 1s, right? It's 1, 0 and 0, 1. The AND, that would be an OR operation to get 1. But you would just essentially AND both of those. So you're basically with AND looking for 1 and 1. And since none of those have a 1 on top of another 1, that all equals 0, essentially. And then, but if you had, for example, if you're doing 3 and 1, which would be 1, 1 and 0, 1, then your end result of that would be 1. So AND 3 and AND 1, binary AND, would be 1. That's how you calculate. That's how you calculate logical AND. And then NOT would flip that. Robinson M232 wants to be added to the stream. Okay, so Anand Boyak is going to skip. Brobatai, it is now your turn. What do you propose for this amazing Fibonacci sum algorithm that we are building in Python? Line 22, result plus equals I. So within this if statement here, within the, like, is it going to go inside this if statement or inside this if statement? Push the current line 21 to 22. Oh, OK. So do that. And then inside of here, we're going to do result plus equals I. OK. And that is Brobatai's contribution. Cool? Columporas, it's your turn. Oh, right. Yeah, logical and any number with 1. Yeah, because everything is, all the zeros are, those are never going to be evaluated to a 1 because of the way and works. So yeah, the logical and essentially in that case does give you, screw it. Did I always? OK, there we go. Sorry. X premix official. You wrote I, not 1. 1, not I. Yeah, I know. I always mess that up. But yeah, all those zeros, since there's never going to be evaluated to a 1, it's essentially just an even test. Yeah, exactly. It's a very clever even test. If there's more code under the pass, it isn't run, right? I believe so. Wait, is that true? I'm actually not 100% sure. Oh, it's just a null operation, but I don't know. I don't think it works like continue. I think pass will just. I think pass will still go on to the next. It'll still go on to the next part of the code, right? Yeah, it still just goes on to the next letter, or in this example. So yeah, pass isn't the same thing as a continue. It is just a literal empty statement as a placeholder. Surreal status wants to be added back into the code. And then Columporas, it was your turn. Is Columporas still present and accounted for? Cerule, I have added you back to the bottom of the roster. So Columporas, we are waiting for you. Oh, sorry. Colo is gone. Moo9 is your turn now. Moo9 is asking, how would you nullify an if statement? You can put continue inside a for loop to skip the rest of the body. Just let the if statements execute. Initialize I is equal to 0 for line 17, says Mbrax. going to try to cancel the first if statement. So this one, cancel the first if statement. So how are we going to do that? Can you edit line 20 to have the condition if false before it? Line 20. Sure can. So that would be these two indented in. And that'll be mu9. DMSMTP. It is your turn. Interesting way of sort of circumventing code that we might not necessarily want present in the script. Mu9 is praying that the next two do the same for the next two if statements. Not a fan of the two if statements. I mean, I think they're still technically syntactically invalid. So somebody needs to fix that before the script will even run. Asfar 404 got you involved in there. So DMSMTP, it is your turn. So if you are present, let us hear the line of code that you would like to add. After line 14, I is equal to A plus B. Sure? Oh, whoops, did I? DMSMTP. All right, Puppet 4411, your turn now. Let's see what you got. We need a pass in the body of line 23, change the number to I, and a pass inside the if statement on line 24. That would probably be helpful. Line 20, amendment not B. Oh, okay, there we go. Not B and I. Like so. Nice. That should fix the current bug where not is taking precedence over the and operator. So shout outs to Puppet 4411. I'm going to add that as an amendment, actually, while I'm still thinking about that. And we'll do amendment, Puppet 4411. It'd be cool if there was a way to better sort of mark out who amended what at a particular place, because right now it's kind of like, if multiple people amend the same line, it's kind of hard to see who amended what, but you know, it's okay. DMSMTP wants to be added back to the end. Oh, did I miss S441? Mu9. I missed Mu9. And let's get DMSMTP. Cool. I think and takes precedence over not. I'm actually not sure because I would need to test myself because I don't remember whether the binary operators take place first. I see that while I'm not here, I'm still present in spirit, line 22. Yep. Absolutely true, Andre. People are on to your technique. Yeah, and it vaguely sounds familiar that and the logical operators, or the binary operators take higher precedence than pretty much everything else. So, except for obviously parentheses. So that makes sense. Loner Kington, line 25, add if false and indent the next two lines. Line 25, if false, indent the next two lines. We can only indent the immediate block. So we cannot indent more than one block. So we will just indent that one. loner king 10. And I'm actually, frankly, not sure if we should even allow indenting, like implicit indentation of lines. Like I almost feel like we should have the indentation step be something that is like somebody needs to specifically request an indentation, because that would make things a little bit more granular in terms of the chat. Like people would have, I think, a little bit more flexibility in terms of, well, not more flexibility, but they would have more, there'd be a little bit more room for chaos. And so people would have more of a shot at fixing things, I think. But it would also take more time. So we're kind of taking pros and cons with these approaches. Not as higher precedence in C, C++, and Java, Python, noobs, no clue, but I hope it behaves the same way. Are we allowed to insert, I cannot see what that is. Oh, for the comment blocks? No, you cannot comment things out. Loner Kington, that was Loner Kington's contribution, which I put in there. So it's Sohazur's turn. Sohazur, it is your turn now. And Loner Kington wants to be added back at the bottom. Wow, have we already been going for an hour and a half? Are you serious? Linux 94, hello? Thanks to True Kinese for kindly writing the instructions as people join in the chat, making it clear how the flow of this experiment/operation goes. Delete line 27. So Hazar, we are not supporting deleting lines. You are going to have to propose an amendment or a new line. Oh, the amendment wasn't needed, says Puppet. Oof, that's rough. But at least it's explicit. There's something to be said about explicit parentheses, right? To be honest, right now we know what we need to do, but we need to waste turns deleting incorrect code. True, that's part of the fun. Number needs to be initialized, people, says Mbrax. Sohazor, oh, it's True Kinese, right? Oh, yeah, Sohazor, we're going to need a line. We're going to need a valid suggestion from you. So do you want an amendment? Do you want to add a new line of code? What is your proposal? Salt Eric, got you. I remember your Super Smash Brothers project that you showed us on the Twitch code review. Another code review tomorrow, everybody, by the way, if you want to tune in for that with David. David will be doing an awesome code review. So go to cs50.ly/code review to participate in that. Print I underline 26, says Sohazor. All right. Print I. Courtesy of Sohazor. Cool. So that, I think, fixed a little bit more syntax. Got a few less squiggly lines, fewer squiggly lines. So True Kinese, it is up to you. Let's see what you got. Official podcast news when? We're announcing it soon. But if folks want to watch, it's on Spotify, Apple right now, and all kinds of other. It's on Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. I think it's going to be on Facebook, and I think there was one other platform. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's on all those platforms, CS50 Podcast, Episode 1, so go ahead and take a listen to that if interested. Number equals 0 on line 20, says True Kinese. We'll do here. Number equals 0. That was the True Kinese. Beautiful. RJSNKE50, 501, sorry. It is your turn. Let's see what you got. What is the code review URL? True Kinese kindly plugged it, cs50.ly/code review. Here we go. I is equal to, that looks like a troll line. Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to guess the troll line. So after line 22, I is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I minus I divided by 2 plus 1 divided by I times 2 double divide I times I plus 0.001 divided by I. Crazy line. I'm guessing that is going to blow up my computer. This will be courtesy of RJSNK501, who's been patiently waiting to add that to the stream. I can imagine. Trucanese and Andre want to get added. I can certainly do that. Cool. It is now Apink6's turn to add their code to the script. Poor little n in the function argument. Yeah, n's not being used for anything. Which is OK. I mean, that's part of the fun, right? Apink6. I'm not even sure if Apink6 is still tuning in. I haven't seen a single comment from Apink6 in a long time. Vinny C, patiently waiting. Vinny, are you added? I don't think you're added to the list. If you want to be added to the list, throw some robots in there. Oh, you're referring to when I said patiently waiting RJSNK. Yes. Yeah, I'm done. That's my only contribution. Well, we have our first troll. This does not look wholesome. But that's OK. Apink6, line 16, LST equals empty list. Cool. So we have a list. Apink6. Dance trainer, your turn. If you actually evaluate it, it just equals I plus 0.01 divided by I, pretty much. It's very easy to mitigate, I see. Can a bot filter chat so only line X code gets through? I think a bot can do pretty much anything related to the chat. I don't know if I'd want to filter everything out. I think I would minimally like to have a bot. Yeah, a bot could stream if it wanted. I think a bot would be cool to like create a queue for people to put their name in, and then just output the current person and remind them so that a human doesn't have to do it. But I'm not sure what else. I'm going to skip my turn because it's too much for me. It says Dance Trainer. OK, that's totally fine. Abitech18, it is your turn. Let's see how you're going to take this one home for us. And then after that, it'll be Bella Cures' turn. This one's proven to be a slightly more complex chat code's Qbot. I thought about that, honestly, because I was reading the API documentation before the stream began just to kind of help this flow a little bit. And didn't obviously have time before the stream to do it, but I thought about it. I thought about making a bot that would actually take lines of code and put them into a script on my machine, because I could run the script on my server here and actually have the results from the script go into a Python file that we could see updating in real time. But I would need to write a way to parse people's comments to actually put the code in the right place. That would get chaotic. And also, I'd be slightly worried about like multi-threaded conflicts. Like, I don't know the exact. I know Node is single-threaded, but because it would need to open right to the file and close the file, and these would be happening asynchronously. I'm not sure how it would work. If it would be tricky or not. Sounds like a good way to get OS removed. I wouldn't run the script. I would just pipe it to a file. And then, but yes, you're right. It would be a good way to get OS removed. We would essentially take input from people for like 5 minutes, look at it, run it, look at it, run it, and so on and so forth. And we could maybe sandbox it too, like actually run it in a VM or a Docker container or something, and then have that actually be running the script and executing, and give the script limited read-write access to the file system so that it couldn't actually remove anything. That would probably work a bit, but I'm not 100% sure. OK, thanks. Facebook has been having issues today. They've been breaking off. I'm probably not going to rerun it. But definitely apologize if you're coming from Facebook. I'm not sure what's going on today. Something is behaving really weirdly today. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it. Dance trainer. I'll add you to the end of the script here. Abitek says, line 20 amendment. Instead of range 4 million, change it to range n. Ah, interesting. So Abitek 18 says in the range of n. OK. Cool. Bella Cures, it is your turn now. Not all heroes know what they have done at the moment. I'm very curious to see where this goes now. Yeah. You would need to sanitize that? Yeah, I absolutely would. Well, all it would do, it would just be taking input from Twitch chat and pipe to a file. Pipe to just a .python file. So because it's just being piped using probably like fs.write to a particular file using the message, it would just be writing the bytes from that message to a file. So there's not really any malicious code there. It would really be involved in the running of the code, like the running of the Python file, in which case we would look at it in advance. And if we sandboxed it, we would be able to run it a little bit more freely if it were sandboxed, or just sandboxed. But if it weren't, I would need to look at it, read over it in advance before we actually run it, make sure it doesn't do anything malicious. With all kinds of people, honestly, it would be impressive to stage anything remotely close to a compromise of a system with so many people all writing stuff to a file, right? That would be chaos. Bella Cures, line 34. Next fib num if it's correct. OK, next fib. All right, I wrote next fibum. Fib num. Next fib num. OK, that's Bella Cures. Cool. Embrax, you're up to bat again. Abitek saying, bye, guys. That's it from my side. Can't take any more. It's a great time with you guys. Bye. All right. Thanks, Abby. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Puppet 4411, you forgot the N. Oops. Embrax, it is your turn. It is on you. Change the for loop to something. We will shortly find out. While b is less than or equal to 4 million. OK. OK. This for loop. So while b is less than or equal to 4 million. OK, cool. Thank you for the contribution. Choco Kid, you're now up. How much delay does the chat have for you? I'm not sure. I think on Twitch, I think it's about like 10 to 15 seconds, so not too bad. On mobile. Oh, that's okay. I'm back. What has been done? Well, this is the script so far, Choco Kid. So there is your comment is still here, of course. The most important part of the script. Change the comment that says Choco Kid was here to a print. We are disallowing the amendment of comments, but if it's to a legal statement and we're just making it a print, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. We can turn comments into print statements. That's fine. And I'll just make that a string. Choco Kid 21. Thank you for your amazing contribution, Choco Kid. It is next level. Okay. Robinson 232. Realize I should have put my line before line 23. Oh, yeah. Probably. The Choco Kid 21 squared. I actually don't know how to write. Would it be this? No, that's TM. We'll do the Choco Kid 21 trademarked. I don't know how to do superscript 2. Can you add my amendment on line 21? Instead of number equals 0, okay, which is here, change it to number equals a plus b, and if possible, number equals 0 on line 18. Well, we can't do number equals 0 on line 18, but I can change your amendment to number equals a plus b. So we'll do something like that, and then an amendment on the behalf of Robinson M232. Alt GR and 2. Wait, Alt GR and 2. Wait, what is GR? Alt GR and 2? Because I'm doing Alt 2. I'm not sure what Alt GR2 is. But anyway, so rule CS, it is your turn next. Alt GR key. Wait. Oh, right alt? Interesting. This would be a new thing for me to know. If that's the case. It's actually pretty cool. Let's try it. Choco Kid. Nope, for me it's still squared, or it's still TM. So I don't think that applies to max. So rule CS, line 36, print next fib num of 1. Okay, so it wants to do an amendment. Okay, so an amendment. So rule CS of next fib num of 1. Okay, cool. Asfar 404, your turn next. Belikirs wants to be added back to the end. Stay peaceful. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, true Kinese. It was the superscript 2. So the like exponentiation 2, like the small 2 up to the right. For me, if I do right alt and 2 on my keyboard, it does not work. Mbrack says, "Enqueue me, please." Yeah, exactly like what ChocoKid just did, 222. Asfar 404, we're waiting on you for the next contribution. So if you would like to contribute, when do you decide to run the code? Because the thing is complete, isn't it? It is still broken. So if we run it now, we still get a syntax error on line 34 with return result. And the reason for that, I will leave up to the Twitch chat to determine. But there is an error in the code currently, preventing it from running. Oh, sorry. Sir Rule, I totally missed that. My apologies. So as far as thinking about the next line to be added to the last if, says RJSNK501, they might be onto something. Maybe. Put a no op or something. Totally valid way of approaching the problem. After line 31, if false. OK, so I'm assuming you mean here, if false, like this, and then to indent this block of code here. Am I correct in that interpretation, Asfar? I have to go AFK. You can remove my name and add your name, Colton, says Puppet4411. Sure, I'll add my name. Why not? That's true. I have not contributed yet. OK, cool. So I was correct. Now, that did not solve the syntax issue. So that is still present. We can see there are red squiggly lines around this area here. So Asfar404, I'm going to add your name to that line. And hopefully Moo9, maybe you know a way in which we could fix this problem. You have a numpad? I do not have a numpad on this keyboard. 3 seemingly disjoint if falses. Yes. 3 separate ones. You do an if false and indent the block below it in one move, correct? The block, not an entire block. You can, well, I guess a block, yeah. I guess technically speaking, a block, yes. And I'm debating whether we're going to take that out and make indentation a specific step. I might do that. Just because that's kind of rough, honestly. I think for the next time we do this, we might do, we might be able to let people say the if false thing and then have people separately say indent line X. After line 11, put if false and indent the entire block immediately below it. I trust the making of a solution function which simply outputs 461.3732, the solution to my successor. So we're going to say if false. Courtesy of, oh, I need to have this here. And then this goes to Moo9. And then this all needs to be indented like this. All right. You can thank Moo9 for that one, everybody. DMSMTP, it is your turn. ChocoKid wants to be added. No, we can start again. Now we can start again. Realize that people can amend your line, ChocoKid. JP guy wants to be added in there. The JP guy. DMSNTP wants to be skipped. It is my turn. I am going to amend this line to say if true. Cool. So now we're back to where we were. And DMSMTP. Good timing on that, right? Loner Kington, it is now your turn. Bold move. Let's see if it pays off. Yeah? We'll see if it pays off. DMSMTP, JP guy, I got you. Cool. I guess I'll add myself to the end. It's kind of nice playing, being involved. Asfar404. Bovine, move. What's the progress so far? We're close, I think. We have all this code. There's a bunch of yellow stuff. Undefined variables, which is OK. That's pretty normal, I think. It's weird that it's triggering that as undefined, because we are defining them here in one step. So I'm not entirely sure. We went from 90% to 0%, then 90%. Yeah, we kind of did. Loner Kington, it is your turn. So where would you like to take us on this fine day? Maybe reload the Pylint extension. That's true. There's also an error here, which is breaking the script, and I'm curious if that fixes it. This is one of the strangest things I've seen in programming. I love it. It's cool. It's a fun community experiment. We have different directions we can take it to. Give your code as a sacrifice. I love it. Someone fixed the error. Enjoying Python for the first time. Fun. Thanks, CS50. Absolutely. Thanks for contributing and being part of this. This is how you learn. Don't make me join the queue again, please, says RJ. RJ's desperate. He or she is desperate. They wanted this to be fixed. Sorry, can I be moved to the back of the queue? Absolutely. But Loner Kington, are you present and accounted for? I'm suspecting possibly not. I don't think we've heard from you in a little bit. I'm going to be able about 5 to 10 minutes. OK, that's fine. Cerule CS, let's add you. Absolutely. By the way, I'm using this Noctis color theme. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I looked at a tutorial, or not tutorial, an article which showed like some new good themes for VS Code. So if you're interested, Noctis is pretty cool. I've been getting a little bit tired of Wendark, which I've been using for a long time. Also, the Dracula theme is pretty cool, I will say. Moon9, I will add you. Moon9 is just going to amend the line again and change it back to if false. All right, Loner Kington, you're off. Eric, let's get you in there. For the first time, NaCl Eric, what do you have to say? What do you have to contribute to this amazing code base? How are you going to take us home? Looks like Solarized Dark. A little bit. It's got slightly different colors. It's got a little bit more pink and purple than Solarized Dark does. It's also got a bit more of a blue tinge to the background. But yeah, it's similar. It has a lot of orange, just like Solarized Dark does. Like the function, the def, is pretty orangey. This one's not Dracula. This one's Noctis. Dracula is cool, though. I don't have it installed on this account. But if I install it, you can see this is what Dracula looks like. It's kind of nice. It's more purpley. I think it's OK. I personally prefer Noctis a little bit more. Grovebox and Falcon. Oh, yeah. It's a little washed out for me, but I could see. It's not bad, yeah. Falcon. Which one is it? Is it the Custom Cobalt 2? I'm not sure which one it is. Widescreen keeps my eyes fried and alert. Ooh, ban this man. This is JP guy. City Lights and Andromeda are nice. Oh, that's not bad. I actually like that one quite a bit. This one's pretty good too. Yeah, both of those are pretty good. I think I still like Noctis a little bit better, but the first one, the City Lights, actually was pretty good. I could see myself using City Lights. Let's go back to Noctis. Yeah, like Noctis Lux, like, ooh, ouch. Blinds me. Minimus, I was also debating Noctis Minimus. Like, Minimus is pretty good. But I think I like regular Noctis a little more for how much more vibrant the words are. Yeah, good suggestions. Sorry, we got a little bit off track there. NaCl Eric. So did NaCl Eric end up contributing? Line 23, break. OK, excellent. Line 23. Line 23, break. Thanks, Eric. It's a great contribution. I'm very proud to have you as part of this stream. The chat thanks you for your contributions. True Kines, it is now your turn. Line 23, amend, pass. Ah, OK. OK. I see. Nice. Well done, True Kines. We will eventually get this to work. Dance Trainer, it's your turn now. There's that sarcasm. Thanks for your contributions. Outplayed. See if we can get 100 lines of code. We're getting there. Oh, actually, no, we're not getting there. It felt like we were getting there, but we only actually have like 30 actual lines of code. Less than. I don't quite see where the bug is, to be honest. Is it a tab thing? If you have a, well, I won't say anything. Dance Trainer. Let's see if we can get 100 lines of code. It is on you now, Dance Trainer. Noctis Minimus has that aesthetic, says Moo9. That aesthetic. Things also, too, I have not been keeping up with this whatsoever. But Asuya Gate, Asfar 404, Black Snow, Emily Slap, Gray's Eye Gritch, Linux 94, Tom Walking Pants, and Real N Skill 99. Real N Skill. Put a NOP after the last if to fix the problem. If only someone gave us a chance to start over without any bugs, says Moo9. Ah, well, you'll get yours in time, Moo9. You'll get yours in time. I think a machine learning algorithm would be faster than Twitch chat. That's the meme, though, right? That's why it's fun. That's why it's fun to watch. Dance Trainer, let's go. Let's get your submission. JP, I just saved it. Well, I saved it earlier, but here's another save, and it still has the still has this issue. I can rerun it though, or I'll quit it and then rerun it. So if we go here, bring this over to VS Code. And then still there, unfortunately. Can you scroll up? Yep. We're up here. This is basically where the script starts. Well, yeah, basically where it starts, right here. Did the first if false break our variable initialization? Well, it's an if true now. I have to invalidate the cache in PyCharm all the time for some reason. Does your code support Unicode print statements? It should. Yeah. If we would have a sandbox snapshot to see the current version, yeah, I'd have to create a sandbox snapshot for that. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, I is equal to 3 before stuff goes down. Yeah, essentially. Essentially, yes. That is the case. That is indeed the case. And be the change you want to see in the world. I love that. That's funny. And we're talking to Dance Chainer. Pressure is on to fix the syntax bugs. I'd have to copy the code to help out properly first, so my contribution until then won't be much. Someone fix line 38. Yeah, it'd be interesting to figure out a way to get everyone to see the code at the same time. Sandbox would work, but it wouldn't update in real time. IAB equals A plus B, BI. Interesting. Right under the while statement. So right here, so IAB is equal to A plus B, BI. For virtue of Dance Trainer. Nice. So like basically mixing up our variables. It's beautiful. Very well done. Bella Cure, it's your turn next. What do we got from Bella? It essentially goes to the next number in the sequence. Let's run the code. Bella, it's going to crash. So if we do this, see, we still have an error on line 40 where it says return result right here. So we have a expected indented block error and expected indented block error. Continuously cat the contents of some file that gets hosted on the internet. I could do that. That's true. Yeah. We just need to check if it's even and add it to the sum first. If this code works, you should add it to your portfolio to impress all those Google software architects. Yeah, probably. We could all get jobs together. We're all collaborators together on this. RJ's mad. I'll fix the if statement then. Orc face. Maybe somebody will get to it before you. I mean, I'm in there before you, so we'll see. Null x dead beef. Line 40, fix the indentation. What do you mean, Bella? Just to be clear, the error starts not necessarily here. Notice there's a squiggly line up here as well. But I will do what you tell me to do. Indenting wants to be a terrible idea. I've made it my life mission to make this code work. I won't sleep or eat before it happens. At the end of this, I actually wonder if anyone will be able to figure out what this code is doing, says Cerule. Do it. Line 39, pass. Ah, there we go. That might be something helpful. Now, what happens if we run the code? Unsupported operand types for and, float, and int. Ah, interesting. B is a float in that case? Oh, because of, wait. Not because of this. Right? Is B not a, B is just an int, right? B is going to start at 0, but then get turned into I, which is 0 still. Is it? A, B. So I is going to be A plus B. Huh, interesting. Bella Cures, thank you for your contribution. Mbrax, line 30 makes it a float. Line 30 does make it a float, but oh, because we're iterating over it? Right, yeah, I guess that makes sense. True. True, true. Missed my bots, Colton. Wait, what do you mean, missed your bots? Oh, shoot. I did. Sorry. I missed dance trainers as well. Shame on me. The chat moved so fast that I missed it, which is a good thing. I'm happy that people are chatting. Okay, so Mbrax, IAB equals IAB, line 23, amend. Okay. IAB equals IAB. What a beautiful, meaningful line of code this is. Chat moves so fast, nobody will notice that I don't study computer science, says JP. Yeah. Now run the code, says Mbrax. Sure. 4613732. Wow, that actually worked? Really? Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that, to be honest. I guess because I isn't really being used for anything. So result is just going to, yeah, result is just going to be calculated from this, then returned. And n doesn't mean anything. So it doesn't matter that we're passing in 1. We could pass in any number. And we're going less than or equal to 4 million, and it just works. Well done. Very well done, everybody. We accomplished 2 Euler challenges today. Wow. That was great. Nice confidence boost. Honestly, I started focusing more on the chat and more on what people were contributing and less on the flow of the program as we got farther and farther in. But now that I'm reading back over it, it actually, yeah, it makes sense. It's cool. There's a lot of things in there that are kind of like diversions. I lost all confidence on you about an hour ago. I mean, I didn't lose all confidence, but I thought that there were a couple of things in here that were going to cause issues. I lost sight of the fact that n was meaningless. And so I thought that that was still a problem we had to solve. And this, I didn't realize this I was completely removed from this operation. And yeah, I thought this was something we were going to have to deal with, but it turns out we did not. And so now it all makes sense. It's actually, we were very close this whole time. A one-liner in 30 lines. Yeah, that's true. Can you check line by line what's wrong, what's right? What's right is this. Basically, this line is doing everything. Every iteration. It's basically adding the result of the last two. Or it's adding to, basically taking the last two and adding result to it if it's even. And it's calculating whether it's even with this and on 1. So if and on 1 is true, then that means it's an odd number. So that's why we're taking not of that to test for even numbers. And if it's even, we're going to multiply that, which is going to be 1, times b. Actually, is that right? And on... Is that correct? I think that's correct. But essentially, we're knotting that to make that a 1 if it's even. And then we're timesing that by b, which means that's whatever the last number is. And then we are essentially just doing the a plus b, b assignment here. So a is getting the value of whatever b was, and b is getting assigned the value of a plus b, so the last two numbers. And so that's what's happening in this loop while b is less than or equal to 4 million. And we're skipping in blocks this way of numbers. We're not actually iterating from 1 to 4 million like we were originally going to do, which is going to be a bit more work. The classic programming meme where the code doesn't work, you don't know why, and if the code does work, you're still not sure why. Yeah, no. I am sure why, but I had for some reason thought that we had a few more problems to solve than we did. So when it happened, it was a pleasant surprise to me. It was very nice. Can we do 495 next? What is programming number 495? Let's see. Archives. I do like these Project Euler problems, though. I think they're very interesting. OK. Let W of nk be the number of ways in which n can be written as the product of k distinct positive integers. OK. Oh, I see. Interesting. For example, W of 144.4 is 7. Ah, fascinating. OK, this is cool. There are 7 ways in which 144 can be written as a product of 4 distinct positive integers. So it's kind of like finding the factors of something, but not the prime factors. And not the, yeah, this is like even factors. And they're distinct positive integers. Note that permutations of the integers themselves are not considered distinct, right? So like 3 times 1 times 4 times 12 is not different than 1 times 3 times 4 times 12. Furthermore, W of 100 factorial 10 modulo 1,000,007 is equal to 287,549,200. Wait, what does that mean? Find W of 10,000 factorial 30 modulo 1,000,007. The exclamation point is referring to factorial, right? In this case? Or is that different syntax for this problem? It'll take 2 hours and 49 unused lines, and it'll be glorious. Oh, this has the fewest solutions on all of Project Euler. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this would probably take us a long time. We will, how many solutions does it have? 195, wow. Difficulty rating 100%. Yeah, it does not sound easy. But it's cool. Yeah, this will be, I think this will be the time where we end it for today. We did it for 2 hours. We solved 2 Project Euler problems. I thought that was fun. It was a cool way to test things out. I'll investigate and see what's feasible in terms of a Twitch bot that we can end up actually having this work. Apologize to anybody who was watching on YouTube and Facebook earlier and saw that glitch out. It was having some weird bugs. I'm not sure why. So we'll investigate that, see what was up with that. Hopefully we can get that working just fine by tomorrow. So FYI, tomorrow we are streaming with David. David's going to be doing a Twitch review, so a Twitch code review. So if you haven't submitted a piece of code to us to be reviewed, go to cs50.ly/code review. We'll take a look at your code. David's going to take the lead on that. And yeah, should be a good time. We haven't done a code review in a little while. Tomorrow is that. Next week, Nick is going to be doing a part 3 of the neural network stream, where we're going to be doing a style transfer operation on our page, on our pictures. So we're going to take existing pictures, modify them, make them look like artwork of some kind, or whatever he ends up deciding. And then on Thursday, ostensibly, we'll do another one of these, but with maybe a Twitch bot. And we'll see what we can get going with that. I'm not entirely sure. So I just hit a local recording to splice this back in for the final YouTube cut. But this is the end of the stream. Unfortunately, we've been having some technical difficulties. Let me switch back to OBS so we can see that everything is currently at the right view. Oh, right. Before I do that, before I switch to the final view, let me just publish this to GitHub as the Twitch Chat Codes Python 2 stream. So give me just a second. If anybody has any questions while we wrap up here, feel free to toss them in the Twitch chat. I'm taking a look at it. I can see it right now. Chat Codes Python 2. Twitch stream coded by chat solving Euler problems. This will be a public repo, create repository, and then do this, and then git init, git add all, git commit. Cool, so that should be pushed up now. Cool. So if you go to Tussle RX with the sad cat face, Bella says, thank you for the stream, Colton. Thank you for tuning in, Bella. Glad we got you in this time. If you want to, oh, nice. True Kines beat me to it. But code review will be going for tomorrow from 2:30 to 4. So 2:30 to 4 tomorrow with David. There will be a code review session. So submit your code to cs50.ly/code review. And we'll take a look at that. Also join our Discord channel. So we do have a Discord, a CS50 Discord. So I can toss that link in the chat as well. Let me figure out where that is. CS50 Discord. And we'll be actually looking at that live. So if you are on Discord, or not on Discord yet, actually, and you would like to get invited, Chickenies beat me to it again. If you want to submit code live, then submit code to the live code, I can't type, code review channel there in the Discord channel. And I'll be looking at that while the stream's going on, and assuming that your code is legitimate and you're not trying to troll us, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll submit that for a live code review. And even if you are trying to troll and it's still, you know, a good example, maybe we'll still accept it. But I think tomorrow is going to be a little bit more of a serious stream on the actual code review stuff. So definitely submit that. We'll be eager to read your code and see what you got, see what's good, what's bad. You know, David will be looking at it. Adam says troll ? We got some trolls, Adam. We got some trolls, but it's all good. It's all in good humor. So yeah, definitely tune into that. Be a part of that. We want to get. We're all about keeping things serious here, says RJ. Yeah, I don't know about that. Fun stream, exactly. Yeah. So thanks so much, everybody. This was CS50 Live. This was our Chat Codes Python number 2. We'll do another one next week, along with a Neural Networks Part 3, and we'll see if maybe we got something else lined up for Friday. But thanks so much again. This is CS50 Live. Stay safe. See you again soon.